Many people think starting over means completely destroying everything and starting from like caveman times. Like we're going to go back to sticks and fire and like we're just going to have to figure it out, as if technology just disappears because we decided to go off-grid. More so, we should think about it as anything that is within the government's grasp, we're going to completely abandon and start something new. So that means hospitals, shelters, welfare, all those kinds of systems. I am putting the focus on people finding their passions and what they individually want to do. If we are doing what we are most passionate about, then we will have the continued momentum to do what needs to be done. This will be a selfless movement that will require every American to sacrifice in many ways. It requires the removal of our egos and the labels we place on ourselves. It requires us to work for others without expectation of getting anything in return. We have many communities that have been abandoned for a long time. So the system has taken advantage of us and used our labor for a very long time. We should take all of our anger and resentment and use it to motivate us to do something better. We spend so much time trying to point fingers and figure out who done wrong, as opposed to looking inward and asking ourselves, how did I allow this? How have my actions enabled this? When we take our focus inward, we can really reprioritize our actions and better be able to come up with a plan. Because this is a team effort. For the highest chance at success, we must work individually together to do what needs to be done. And a lot of the times people ask me what needs to be done. And the answer to that question is very simple, yet complicated depending on the person you ask. The most important thing that we need to do right now is get off-grid, become independent and self-sustainable. And that takes many, many different ways. That's why we need to think about what we are passionate about. What skills do we have? You may think that you individually may not have anything extraordinary, but we don't need perfection. We don't need level 100 craftsmen. We just need you, because you as you are important and useful just because you exist. You have to allow yourself to be yourself and live your truth without the input of your ego and fears, without what ifs stopping you from doing what needs to be done. And what needs to be done for me is a lot different than for you. So you have to think about it without expecting to be told. But if you want some ideas, I can still tell you. First off, you have to shift your mindset from complacent to colonizer. They think that they are entitled to the world and they can just take whatever they want. So you must realize that all the rules are made up by the current oppressor and you can make up your own rules. It's the idea that this land is mine now. Let's not worry about the rules of the current nation and do whatever we want. And if they have an issue and get violent, we can defend ourselves. The important thing is we're going to do it more so in the aspect of communication, communicating with each other in order to kind of compromise and work with each other in order for where everybody feels seen and heard and able to actually work together. We must have nothing but love in our hearts and speak honestly and not be afraid of holding each other accountable for our actions or words, not afraid of interpersonal conflict and being able to compromise. As long as we stay honest with each other and properly communicate, things will work out. So you talk with your friends, your families, your neighbors, strangers, acquaintances, everybody. Talk with everybody and try to find a way to work with each other in order to become self-sustainable, because all we need to really focus on right now is disconnecting ourselves from the government. If you are looking for a community to join, or you want to move away and start over in a place that you've always wanted to live, look at it. What state have you always wanted to live in? And talk to the people in that state who want to start communities and make a real plan about going there with each other. I need to start supporting communities that have been abandoned or taken advantage of by the system. So basically, we are taking everything good about society and abandoning the things that are bad. We need to focus on each other right now. Those of us who are ready have to take on the burden of supporting those that are not ready, those that need rest, or those who are most vulnerable. We must support and rely on each other and try to prevent burnout as much as possible. This requires untethered, unconditional love, not only for each other, but ourselves as well. It's about understanding ourselves, what we honestly and truly want, and accepting ourselves for who we truly are. Understanding that we all are so valuable just because we exist, that you don't have to work yourself to death to be considered valuable. You, just you, are valuable just because you are you. And I'm going to wrap this up by reading off a list of jobs that I have thought of that we would need for a community to become off-grid or fully self-sustainable from the government. Mechanic, chef, artists, musicians, doctors. Doctors include all medical staff. Architect, engineers, electrician, plumber, handyman, chemist, teachers, therapists, elders, advocates, caretaker, cyber dude or also IT technician, welders, firefighters, security just in the form of protecting ourselves from the government, carpenters, farmers. And then these are technicians that we would need just like all in general, water, hydroponics, or aquaponics technicians, solar wind technicians, and battery technicians. Then we would also need managers, the water resource manager, a waste manager, a livestock manager, a community manager. We would have like multiple of these. Traders or logistics coordinators, those would be the people mostly talking with other communities. And an accountant would be more so somebody responsible for buying what the community needs, with trying to detach from money as much as possible. So yeah, tell me what you think and have a great day. Bye.